Fox News is working to independently confirm that report that the Inspector General did find evidence that former FBI Director James Comey was found to be insubordinate and went outside the chain of command. Based on our ongoing reporting, we understand one of the primary episodes the Inspector General was investigating was his decision in July of 2016. You see the event here, or you did just a moment ago, to publicly announce the findings of the FBI investigation that used the code acronym MYE, or mid-year exam, and that he was recommending against criminal charges. That's the key development there, because typically that decision would be under the purview of the Attorney General Loretta Lynch, but that was a responsibility that Director Comey took upon himself. Also, in a separate development, Fox News has obtained these congressional letters that show the former FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe, who worked directly for James Comey, wants a special status if he testifies before the Senate Judiciary Committee later this month about that same Inspector General's report. This special status is called use immunity, and under those conditions, McCabe's testimony cannot be used against him in a criminal prosecution. That matters because the Inspector General found that McCabe lied under oath, and there was a criminal referral to the U.S. Attorney here in Washington, D.C. for potential violations of 18 U.S.C. 1001. That's lying to federal investigators. This morning, a senior Senate Republican who sits on the Judiciary Committee recommended against a deal to secure McCabe's testimony.
We really need to get to the bottom of what happened at the FBI during the Comey years, where apparently there was misconduct going on, which I think has really impugned the reputation of the finest law enforcement agency in the world. And we need to clear the air. And so I think giving Mr. McCabe cover through immunity would be a mistake.
McCabe's lawyer said in a quote, McCabe is willing to testify, but because of the criminal referral, he must be afforded suitable legal protection, adding that if he were unable to get such a deal, McCabe will have no choice but to invoke his Fifth Amendment privilege against self-incrimination. Based on the timing, this continues to be a very fluid situation. As you know, Harris, there is a date on the calendar for Monday next week for open public testimony in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee. That's the lead committee for the Inspector General's report. But based on what we've learned in the last 24 hours, it does appear that that date is likely to slip yet again, Harris.
Well, and we've seen some delays, Catherine, and lawmakers that I've been talking with have said, you know, they want a chance for that report to come out, obviously, before they would hold that hearing. So they'll just have to wait until that happens.
If I can just add one thing.
Sure.
Based on what we know, it's a very lengthy report, somewhere in the neighborhood of 500 pages, and people who sit on the Senate Judiciary Committee feel they need at least a couple of days to adequately comb through the report so they can ask the right questions for the Inspector General Horowitz, and he can appropriately defend his findings here.
Sure, interesting. Yeah. 500 pages, depending on how much of it leaks. Because right now we're looking at the leaks.
And just if I could say one other thing on that, I think that's pretty significant because we're in a phase right now where the principals who cooperated are allowed to review the findings and then make their case or their best argument against what the conclusions are. I think one of the key things is that we haven't had a lot of leaks about the findings, and the parties who would have that information may feel that it's pretty damaging, and they're trying to, shape the outcome to the extent they can with their version of what happened.